Good afternoon, everybody. Rolling right along with the soccer interviews season, just a few days away. I have Junior from Toms River North, Madison DiEugenio. Madison, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
So, scrimmages are pretty much complete. How has the team looked so far to start the season?
We're good. We have a few injuries, but I think we're going to be solid this year. We brought a lot of kids back, so.
Yeah, I didn't do my preseason top 10 yet, but I do think I'll have Toms River North #1 to start the preseason, just because, like you said, you brought a lot of talent back from last year's team. Getting back to going to your background, how old were you when you started playing soccer?
I started soccer at 4 years old at a rec. Yeah.
Toms River Rec?
It was called like Toms River Youth. Now it's CRFC.
Do you remember who your first coach was?
Mike Jacobus.
Okay. Did you play any other sports when you were younger?
I played softball, basketball. I did track in middle school, and I played lacrosse.
What made you pick that soccer was your main sport?
I don't know. It's always I don't started like the earliest, and I just stuck with it.
Okay. Do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I have one older brother.
Did he play any sports?
He ran cross country and he played tennis. Now he goes to TCNJ.
Does he play any sports at TCNJ?
No.
No. I was a tennis player in high school, and that was it. After that, I stopped. I like asking players this because I know you play PDA and it's a lot of travel. What have your parents meant to you as far as your development?
They've been a big support. My dad, he always takes me to the turf and we shoot and train and run. So he's like the more like physical side. My mom is always making sure I'm eating right and she's taking me everywhere. So does he. Yeah, she's always like about like eating right.
That's good. I know she won the Eat Clean Bro basket at the event, and then she told me that. Did you try any of the food?
Yeah, I did. It was pretty good.
Yeah, he does. Jamie does a good job over there. Growing up, it could be a family member, it could be a professional. Who was a role model you looked up to, growing up?
I would say my dad, like sports wise, because he was like a 3-sport athlete in high school and he was like varsity. So I wanted to like match that. So
What sports did he play in high school?
He did football, wrestling, and golf.
Oh, two very physical sports, and then golf.
He was good at golf.
Yeah, and you don't see that too often these days. 3-sport athletes.
Yeah.
It's just because start when you're younger. It's the sport. It takes what? I mean, you do PDA. How many months of the year? Before you got to high school, was it pretty much 11, 12 months out of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Now you said you were about 4 when you started playing, rec soccer. Do you remember your first club team, the travel team?
TRFC. My friend's dad was the coach.
Who was that?
And then, Frank Seitz. Then the team, PDA. So that's when I joined.
How old were you when you moved to PDA?
Probably like 4th grade, so 10 maybe.
Okay. So have you had a lot of different coaches at PDA? Because I know that rotate the coaches around a little bit.
So I started off with Dan Ortiz. He was like a great trainer. Like my first trainer. He taught me like everything. Then we had Dara O'Day. He left, and then we had Coach Lowe, then Brian Finley, and then Coach Lowe again. Okay. So we all.
Yeah, and they're a great group of guys too. I see them always at supporting their girls at the high school games, and and I know Dan trained Jilly a little bit over the summer for that summer program, and he's a very good trainer. I know Jilly loved him. So, what are some of the accomplishments you had with PDA? Because I know it's a very successful team.
So we made it to the state cup twice, and we won twice. And we just went to the ECNL showcase in Florida. Like we didn't do great there, but we won the ACNL RL championship to get there. So
I mean, that's an accomplishment. Yeah. I heard the weather was pretty fun down there in Florida for that tournament.
terrible.
I mean, it seemed like you were one of the lucky teams that got most of their games in, because I heard some
Yeah.
teams didn't get their games in. So,
Yeah.
now transitioning to high school, Toms River North always had a very successful girls soccer program. What are some goals you set for yourself? You're going in as a freshman.
My main goal was obviously to be on varsity and to complete like the fitness test, and I accomplished both. So then I wanted to like become like a starter and like help the team out. So
Did you end up starting your freshman year?
yeah.
Who were some upperclassmen, because I know being a freshman could be a little overwhelming sometimes, especially at such a successful program. Who are some upperclassmen that helped you, if you had questions or anything going on?
Lexi Pito, she's always been there. Like even when I was in 6th grade and she was in 8th grade, she would always like welcome me. So when I got to high school, like she really just like brought me in and like introduced me to everyone. And Emily Royson and Paige Farley. Like obviously Emily is like a great player, like committed to Duke. So I always like looked up to her, and they're just really good players. So.
I was going to be my next question. What did you learn, playing with Emily and Paige?
They were always competitive, even in like practice. So like if I was slacking off, they'd get like mad and tell me to like get going. So they really brought like a great atmosphere to the team.
Yeah, I saw your freshman year. I saw you played the St. John Vianney game, and you're a fun team to watch. I caught you much more games this past season, and Tom does a good job coaching over there, and the style that you girls play. In your freshman year, how did it feel, as a freshman making the Shore Conference tournament finals?
It felt so cool because like I would always see like when I was like still in middle school, I'd see North like going into the finals, and I'd be like, oh, I wish that was me. And now I'm finally there, so it was really cool.
Do you think you could get RBC back this season?
Yeah, I do.
Also, as a freshman, you end up making it to the sectional finals, which is a big, and you end up playing Eastern, who I think that year I think they were 1 or 2 nationally that year. So how did it feel playing, making it to the finals and going up against such a, a talented team like Eastern?
I mean, I thought that we'd be like ready, but they had like really great girls, and we tried to like control them, but they just got away from us. So.
Yeah, they have some program down there to just keep replacing their stars over and over. Last season, did you think the season was going to happen with COVID going around?
I mean, I wasn't too sure. Like there was talk about it like being in the spring, but like I'm glad it happened the way it did.
Yeah, I thought overall that, I know a few teams got, shafted at the end of the season canceled. But overall, I thought they did a pretty good job. And even getting some sort of postseason together, which was, pretty cool because, basketball, all they had was the Shore Conference, pod tournament. They didn't really have no state tournament. Talk a little bit about the postseason. Your team had a great run. Made it to the pod. I don't know what they call it, the sectional finals, group finals. I don't know what they're calling it last year. You just ran into a very good Scotch Plains team that, they're always up there pretty in the state. How did it feel? First talk about just making it to the finals.
We like were undefeated and we were having a great season, but I don't think we were like battle tested. So like when this team came in, like they were really good, and like we just like weren't used to that competition. So I think it just like took us by surprise.
Yeah, last year was tough because it was tough to schedule. They really didn't want you to schedule teams outside your little, group. And, if a game got canceled, they pretty much wanted you to stay within the Shore to, replace that game. You really, I know coaches like to schedule some tough teams outside the Shore to, get you ready for Shore Conference. I'm glad you brought that up because, something they always say in basketball, to play in the tough games, gets you ready for the postseason and seeing the other teams. What do you think the big difference was? The first half you held, it was 0-0, and then the second half, they were able to score 4 goals.
I think like There was a girl committed to like Lehigh.
Mhm.
I don't know, but we really should have like man marked her and stayed tight on her. And I think we just like let her like slip away, and that was like our downfall.
Yeah, I was at the game. She was pretty pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like, um, your team had, goalie like Cam, you know, makes things a lot easier, for the players on the field knowing you got such. What are some things you were able to learn playing with Cam?
It made me like develop like a trust in my goalie. Like I knew like if she missed a save, like I knew it was like a good shot because she doesn't let it get the end.
No, it was fun watching, Cam play last season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going into this season, what is something you want to improve on?
I want like to like create more plays, like more assists, and I want to get to like we always make it to the finals, but we can never like win. Like so this year, I hope.
You want to get over that hump, right?
Yeah.
One question back to last year. How did you made All-Star second team, right? The APP. How did that? That's a big accomplishment. As a sophomore making that team. How'd that feel?
Really good. This year, I'm trying to make first team.
Yeah.
So
I think there's going to be a lot of juniors on that first team this year because you have a very strong class throughout the whole Shore Conference.
mhm.
What are some goals this season for the team? I mean, obviously, you want to get over that hump and winning the title. Do you think only playing your division once is going to help compared to last year? You were playing, teams basically back to back.
I think it's gonna be more challenging this year, and our competition's better. We have like good teams, and like last year, like we got to play every team twice. So, like we knew their strategies, we knew how to beat them.
Yeah, last year it had to be tough with the coaches too to adjust. Only like a day in between.
I kind of
Home and what was that?
I like that.
You did. Um, they used to do that, but you didn't play. You played basically say Jackson Moore. You played in the beginning of the year and then the end of the year. It wasn't the same week, but you might be the only person I've interviewed that actually enjoyed that.
No, I did. I don't know why.
Next year, you're going to be a senior next year. What are some things you're hoping to pass down to the underclassmen?
I want to make sure like they have like the winning mindset. So like I want to win every single game. Like they should expect to win every single game too.
We brought up that majority of the team is coming back this season. Do you have a goalie that came in or the underclassmen goalie that's going to be able to replace step in Cam's footsteps?
Yeah, and she's also a PDA goalie. She's
Okay.
on like the team, and she's really good. I have a lot of confidence in her.
That's good. Yeah, because that was the one position that if you ask any high school coach, is replacing a very good goalie that graduates.
Yeah.
I know St. Rose ran into that last year. They graduated a goalie, and you could lose the best player on the field, but if you lose a goalie, it's tough to replace them. So that's good that you have a goalie getting raised that will step in Cam's spot. You ready for some rapid fire questions?
Sure.
What's your favorite movie?
Into the Wild.
Into the Wild. How about TV show?
I have to think. Maybe Outer Banks. I don't know.
That seems to be the popular one people are saying now.
Yeah.
Favorite food?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese. That's very simple there. Favorite school subject?
Math.
Math. Okay. Favorite number?
5.
5. I remember Jilly was very confused that you said 5, but you were 15 on the high school field.
Because like, somebody had 5, and I was 15 is close enough. So.
Favorite music genre or band, if you have a favorite band or group?
I don't know. I don't think I have a favorite band, but I'd like pop, hip hop.
Last one. What do you enjoy doing on your free time when you're not playing soccer?
Like hang out with friends. I surf and I ski, and
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Um, talk about your future real quick. What are some things you're looking at when you're looking at colleges?
I'm looking at like a mid-sized school maybe, and I don't know. I'm still like searching around. I visited a few colleges so far, but I'm not like totally sure.
Location doesn't matter.
I'm not trying to go like across country, but yeah, I don't know.
Do you know what you want to study?
I'm kind of undecided, but I'm into like exercise science.
Yeah. Do you know what you want to do after college?
Maybe like a physical therapist or
You ever think of getting into training or coaching?
I mean, yeah, I would do it. It seems fun.
Um, Last question. What advice would you give your younger self?
Just like give it your all. Like even if you fail, at least you know like you gave it all like your all, like there's nothing else you could do. And usually it like works out in your favor. So
That's good advice. You know, a lot of
mhm.
kids give up and just gotta keep fighting.
Yeah.
All right, Madison, thank you for taking time out today, and good luck this season. And I gotta check the schedule out to see when I'm going to see Tom's River North play. But uh, did they schedule RBC? Did I see
Yeah.
RBC on the schedule? I thought I saw that on the schedule. That's I mean that's one of the games we got cheated out of last year. Or
Mhm.
for you girls being able to play Homedale and Freehold and RBC. I know Freehold came and the coach scouted your game versus Brick Township, and because originally they figured that you two were going to be in the same group, for postseason, and then they ended up being in a separate group.
Yeah.
That would have been a really fun matchup in the postseason, seeing Freehold and the Tom's River
Mhm.
North. All right, Madison, I'll let you go, and good luck this season.
Thanks for having
No problem, Madison. Bye.
me.